Ladies and gentlemen, the NHL season is officially upon us, and I could not be more happier. We had a long and action-packed game today for the first game of technically the third game, but the first game of opening night between the New York Rangers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Probably one of the longest games I've ever taken notes for. 3 pages of just straight up just notes, so this video could take a while, but yeah. It was a very fun game, so let's get into it. So starting off here, obviously first game of the season, it's Vasilevskiy versus Shesterkin. I don't think anybody else expected anything different. We were going to get no Brian Elliott versus Yaroslav Halak. That wasn't going to happen. It was a slow first 3 minutes for the most part, and then things kind of started picking up, but it was still kind of slow. You could kind of tell teams were still trying to get into the flow of being back in the regular season. And obviously, the first play was a Zibanejad shot that was stopped, and that was the first of many Zibanejad chances we would see tonight, including some that would follow through. There was a Reeves, Ryan Reeves, looked very physical early. I liked a lot of the hits that Reeves was hitting. He was playing the puck well. He made some hits on Hayden Fleury and Erik Cernak. I thought he looked pretty good early on. Shots were 2-1 Tampa, 6 minutes in, so early on it was kind of Tampa's game. And then a Lindgren shot was denied, and then Kravtsov. And this is really unfortunate because you know how Kravtsov wanted to get into the NHL and get some time this coming season. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen just yet because he got hit by a Victor Hedman shot, and he's out. He's out with an upper body injury. He'll probably be reevaluated. Hopefully, it's nothing bad, but it didn't look so good, so we'll see. He did not return to the game. There was a point shot that was stopped. There was a Hagel shot that was denied by Shesterkin, and halfway through the first, it's 4-3 Tampa with the shots halfway through. So Tampa kind of taking over the game. There was a Hedel shot that was stopped. There was a Ross Colton chance that was then denied. And then there was a Zibanejad shot that was stopped, followed up by a Trouba chance right afterwards that was denied. So the Rangers were active in the second half of that period, and things started picking up for New York as it was 7-6 Rangers in shots with just 5 minutes remaining in the first. And then the penalties. There were so many freaking penalties in this game. It wasn't even funny. So starting off with a Tampa penalty, this one's against Erik Cernak for holding. And I thought I'd throw these stats in here since it is the first game of the season. The Rangers were 4th in power plays in 2021-22, and I thought that with Trocheck being on that power play, I thought it would be a lot worse with Kopp and Strome being gone, but no, Trocheck fills in that role perfectly. And I saw him doing good on the penalty kill as well. So that's something to definitely look at there. There was a Zibanejad one-timer that was stopped. A Trocheck shot that was denied. A Kreider shot was stopped. The puck went up in the air, so I thought maybe the puck would get batted in, but nope. Puck went behind the net, goes out. Then there was a Trouba shot that was denied, and then the penalty was killed off. You'll notice in a lot of these power plays, and even some of the power plays for Tampa as well, New York was very active. There was a Stamkos chance that was stopped, and then there was a deflected point shot that was denied, and that pretty much did it for the first period. So it's 0-0. Shots were 14-8 in favor of the Rangers. Very good first period for the Rangers. It would only go up from there. Second period, we got announced that Kravtsov would not come back. He's out with an upper body injury. We'll see what he gets when he gets reevaluated. We'll obviously cover that in future mailbags. There was a Hedman shot that was stopped. Then the New York penalty started coming. It was Trocheck for holding. Tampa Bay was actually 8th in power plays, which surprised me in 2021-22. I thought they'd be a lot higher, but I guess with guys like Kucherov and Point being hurt at points this past year, I guess it made their power play weaker. It didn't look very good tonight, I'm going to be honest, apart from one power play. There was a Kucherov shot that was denied. Then the shorthanded chances started coming. There was a Zibanejad shorthanded chance that was stopped. And then he scores. Zibanejad shorthanded his first of the year from Trouba and Miller, and he makes it 1-0 Rangers shorthanded. Pretty much nothing happened on the penalty after that. It was killed off. Then there was a Trouba shot that was stopped. I thought Trouba was very active on that blue line, creating a lot of chances and a lot of shots. Definitely for some Rangers to get tips. Shots were 19-11 halfway, and then that was like literally the only... Like, we were just getting started. It felt like it was halfway, but we were just getting started on what was going to happen. There was a New York penalty. There was two, actually, for Miller. It was for hooking. Then there was one for Gaudreau for tripping, and both were drawn by Brandon Hagel. So that's impressive there. Brandon Hagel looked very good drawing penalties tonight. So it was 5-on-3 for 2 minutes. There was a point shot that went wide. There was a Stamkos one-timer that went wide. There was another Stamkos chance that was deflected wide. There was a Kucherov shot that was stopped, and then third time's the charm. Stamkos scores on the power play from Kucherov in point, coming close to some very exclusive milestones. When I actually took a look at his stats, he's like 12 goals away or 16-something goals away from 500, and he's like 13 points away from 1,000. So he's really getting there on some of his stats. So we could see a lot of Stamkos milestones coming up, 100%. So it's tied 1-1. It was 5-on-4 for a little bit, but then the power play was killed off. There was a Panarin breakaway that was denied. Shots were 20-15, Rangers 13 minutes in, so still Rangers were still kind of taking over the game. And then even more penalties. There was a penalty on Tampa again. It was Ross Colton for interference. And Trocheck, once again, another very active power play. Trocheck's shot went wide. Then there was both Trocheck and Kreider shots that were stopped. And then the power play was eventually killed off. There was a Lafreniere shot that was denied. There was a Tampa Bay penalty on Stamkos for slashing. And then that caused a lot of stuff there. There was Trocheck's shot that was stopped. There was a Fox shot that went wide. Zibanejad one-timer was denied, and the penalty was killed off. Shots were 31-16, Rangers 18 minutes in. There was a Trouba point shot that was stopped, and then that pretty much did it for the second period. Very eventful period. A lot of penalties, a lot of goals. It was very interesting. So it's 1-1. Shots were 16-32 in favor of New York. And then the third period got even more interesting. There was a Lafreniere chance that was fanned. There was a Jimmy Vesey shot that was denied. That was the only time I really saw Jimmy Vesey active in this game. He was okay for his first game back with the Rangers, but I need to see more out of him before I can say yeah. But it's only one game. There was a Rangers penalty on Gaudreau for tripping. Yeah, Gaudreau was very active in the penalty box tonight. But that was good Rangers defense. I like that Rangers penalty kill overall, and that was obviously killed off. There was a Tampa Bay penalty for Vladislav Namestnikov for high sticking, and then Zibanejad gets back on the board, his second of the night from Panarin and Kreider on a power play goal, and he makes it 2-1. Then penalties just kept on coming. Almost right after that, there was a penalty on Ryan Carpenter, one of the new acquisitions this year for the Rangers. He got a penalty for holding, so obviously a 2-minute power play for the Lightning, but it really wasn't. There was a Zibanejad short-handed chance that was stopped. He was really looking for that hat-trick goal. He was active in this game tonight. He looked really good in his first game. There was a Stamkos shot that was stopped, and the penalty was killed off. There was another Zibanejad chance that was denied. It feels like I just kept writing Zibanejad. And then eventually, Barclay Goodrow got himself on the board. So 2 penalties and then a goal with a Lindgren tip, and then from Carpenter as well. So it's 3-1 Rangers. There was a Belmar shot that was stopped. Shots were 39-21 Rangers 11 minutes in. There was a Chernak hit on Hedl, and then people thought it was going to be a penalty against Tampa, but it wasn't. It was actually for the Rangers because Hedl held on to Chernak, which caused him to hit him. It was confusing, but there was a Perry shot that was stopped, and the penalty was killed off. Really nothing happened. There was a Hagel shot that deflected wide. There was a Trocheck wraparound that was stopped. Tampa Bay pulled their goalie then with about 1:50 left in the third. There was a Perry shot that was denied. Perry actually looked solid tonight. He was another one of those underrated players. There was a Zibanejad chance that hit the post on the empty net. Couldn't give him the hat trick on the first night of the year. Then Trocheck empty net chance went wide, and that pretty much did it. Final score 3-1 for the Rangers. My 3 stars, these aren't the actual 3 stars. My 3 stars were Zibanejad at 1, Stamkos at 2, and then Vasilevsky at 3. I thought Vasilevsky held up the back end really good. Although he let in 3 goals, he did look solid, so I'm going to give that to Vazzy. Some other picks, obviously Shesterkin as well. He looked solid. And then obviously, too, Trocheck looked very good throughout this game for the Rangers. Some other stats here. Shots were 39-27 in favor of New York. Penalties. There was a lot in this game. New York was 1 for 4, and Tampa was 1 for 6. So there was 10 penalties in this entire game. It was a very active game penalty-wise. And then the hits were 24-19 in favor of the Rangers. So yeah, Tampa's 0-1. Rangers are 1-0. We'd love to see it. I would cover the game for LA versus Vegas. I would love to, but unfortunately we got testing here for a sophomore like me, so unfortunately I can't. But yeah, that does it for this game review. And hopefully we got many more coming out throughout the rest of the season. I'm probably going to make at least one per night. There'll be some nights where I can't, but I would love to do so many game reviews this coming season. It'd be great. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching. For our Sports Later, really do appreciate it. And hey, this is the start of our 4th season of hockey coverage of Nordic 97. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.